Hello and welcome to the Dragon Den. I'm KingofDragons 5000 and today I have another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Rendar. Diving back into the world of Shadows of the Empire, we finally have a look at Rendar. It has been a long time coming for this figure, but I am happy that Hasbro finally got around and gave us our very own Rendar. Rendar's only accessory is his DL-44 blaster. As we take a closer look at Rendar, Hasbro has done an excellent job with this particular character. The color scheme here on Rendar, as well as the armor, does a great job bringing him to life. Having a look at the head sculpt, Hasbro has done an amazing job sculpting Rendar's head. The face is sculpted very nicely, as they gave Rendar some very nice defined features. His cheekbones are very pronounced, and I'm really loving his square jaw. Although I do feel he could be a little bit scruffy if they added a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow, but it's still a good head sculpt. They did a great job sculpting his hair and giving it this really nice pecan color. Unfortunately, there is no shading here in Dash's hair. As we take a look at his outfit, Rendar is wearing this silver armor that has these really big pads on his shoulders. They did a really good job sculpting these padded armor, as there's a lot of detail in the quilted patterns. The rest of Dash's armor is going to be cast in this really nice metallic silver, and it's done very nicely. The sculpt work on it is quite impressive, as it actually looks like worn metal. The line work on his armor is done very well, as it does continue from the front going all the way to the back. And the armor will continue onto his shoulder pads, which are done in that same plastic. However, this one is a little bit softer. Rendar is going to have bare arms, which do look really nice, as the musculature is done very well. Moving all the way down to his hands, you can see he is wearing these brown gloves, which have some impressive sculpt work to the gloves itself. And we will have some seam work done on his hands, bringing out some nice detail in these gloves. Around his waist, Rendar is going to be wearing a brown belt, which has some really good details with some silver buckles in the front. And the sculpt on the belt itself is done very well, as it looks like worn leather. And on the right side of the belt, he is going to have a holster for his DL-44 blaster. Dash's flight suit is going to be cast in this dark blue plastic, which looks really good, as the detailing on it is spot on with a lot of nice folds and wrinkles. In the middle of his flight suit, he is going to have this quilted pattern look to it, and it does look very good, as the sculpt work is pretty solid. Just like with his shoulder pads, this is going to be done very well, as each quilt has its own unique sculpt. And the quilted design will continue down the interior of his legs, where it's done in this really nice brown paint. And the rest of the flight suit going down his legs is just going to be that same blue, where we have that impressive sculpt work with both the folds and wrinkles, as well as some detailing with the seam work. Dash's boots are going to be cast in black plastic, and I'm surprised with the level of detailing on his boots. Just like with his belt, the boots are going to have a worn leather feel to them, and they look quite nice with all the folds and wrinkles. We're even going to have some textured detail here on the soles of his boot. As far as detailing go, this is exactly what I imagined Rendar looking like, although I do feel like the head sculpt does seem a little too handsome. Despite that, it's still an overall well sculpted figure with some really impressive paint apps. With the paint and details out of the way, let's compare Rendar to our usual suspects. As he is part of the Star Wars Black Series line, Rendar is going to be smaller than domestic toy lines. However, he is more in line with true 1/12 scale, so he fits in nicely with the rest of your Black Series. Rendar will have a ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. Butterfly joints in his shoulders. Arms hinge out to the side and do a full 360. He will have a hinge and swivel at the elbow. he will have a ball joint in the wrist. Dash Rendar is going to be sporting a ball joint in his midsection. His legs will kick forward, go back, out to the side, and rotate slightly. He will have a hinge and swivel at the knee. Finally, he has rotation in the boot, a hinge in the ankle, and forward-facing pin. Shadows of the Empire is one of my favorite Star Wars stories, and I'm finally happy to have a Dash Rendar in my collection. It's been so long since we've gotten a Dash Rendar figure. I believe the last time we got one was actually back in the Power of the Force Kenner line. He was always one of my favorite characters from the expanded universe, and playing the 64 game, this is one figure that I knew I had to have in my collection. I think my main issue with this figure is the head sculpt, as Hasbro might have made him a little bit too handsome. When I think of Dash Rendar, I normally think of a rough and tough scruffy looking smuggler, however the head sculpt is still very good. And the overall look for Dash Rendar is actually done very well, as it's not as exaggerated as it was in the 64 game. Although his armor is more tame, you can still tell who this character is just based on the silhouette. At the time of making this video, Dash Rendar is starting to hit stores, and I did pick mine up from Amazon. With some great articulation, some impressive paint apps, and an impressive sculpt, Dash Rendar will look perfect in your Star Wars display. So if you're fans of Shadows of the Empire like I am, definitely pick up Dash Rendar. And thank you so much for watching another video here on the Dragon Den, but before you go, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out the rest of my Star Wars videos. If you're in a position to help out the channel, check out my Patreon, where I have some exclusive content and early access videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my loyal Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm KingofDragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.